And to go farther in this semi-pro football thing?
As far as going farther, I think the next step for me would be coaching aspect. Here's my little brother Isaac, the one you're talking about. Like, you got to be in the camera, man. But as
Yeah.
far as me
He
going
he
farther,
always
All
has to be
right, all
involved.
right.
as far as me going farther, the next step for me
That's
would
all
be
good
coaching. Next thing would be for me coaching. Um,
though.
I
That's
love
what's
the
up.
game, so I would never step away from it. I would never step away from it. But if I don't play again after this season, it'd definitely be coaching for New Memphis Fire.
Coaching's great. We need more young coaches, especially young coaches from the inner city, coaches that know how to deal with a lot of these kids. I'm from, a pretty rough neighborhood growing up, and I remember a lot that my coach taught me. Now, my coach wasn't your traditional coach. The language was off the chain, but
Oh
that's
yeah,
what it
I
takes for
also
some of these kids to recognize real
yeah,
recognize
for
is
sure. I
real.
coached
You know what I mean?
I coached high school, Capital Prep. It was in Bridgeport, and I would me either. You know what I'm saying? It was the difference in knowing how to relate to players and being able to get their best ability out. So being a coach when I've coached them, it was the same thing. If you don't have a dog mentality and you don't have the mentality of I'm better than you no matter what, and I'm going to beat you 10 times out of 10, then you shouldn't be on that field. If you think for any slight second that the person in front of you is going to beat you, then you're already defeated. So like just like you said with the language, I would curse, swear sometimes, but that's what's neat. Look at Nick Saban. He don't talk nice to his players. He give it to them. This is how it's supposed to be: naked, raw, uncut material. But that's why he got all these Heisman players, all these people in the NFL because of the type of coaching that he has. And the same thing you can ask Mark. They always telling me, "Yo, Kenny, you got to talk to the players different." But at this level, I can't talk to a player as if they're a child because we're all grown ass men. You should know your position and what your job is at this moment. It's basic stuff. And if you can't get that or grasp that the concept, then football's not free. That's like trying to teach a grown man at this age in semi-pro to tackle. If you don't know how to tackle and how to fundamental tackle now, you should not be playing. It's just that simple.
Facts. I mean, you're saying straight facts. But then I look at the Michael Jordan comparison with Kwame Brown, which I'm going to talk a lot about Kwame Brown. At 17 years old, I don't know if Michael Jordan was the right person to be a Kwame Brown mentor. And then he goes to Kobe Bryant, who's just as bad. I think some of these kids need that brazen kind of thing, not always that screaming to be dominant, because I think Michael Jordan hurt Kwame Brown's career over the long run just by being so mean and so nasty to him. And some people didn't even know Kwame Brown had a voice until recently. So I think you got to be stern with these kids, but at the same time, you got to praise them
Of
as well,
course.
because once their self-esteem starts to get belittled, and a lot of these kids, their self-esteem is already hammered on.
Yeah.
So we have to come with a praise mentality, kind of be rough at the same time.
No, of course. You always going to, you know, you can start with a positive and end with a positive, or you can say, yo, this is what you did wrong, but this is what you did right. Always end with something positive so they're not thinking about what they did wrong. You know what I'm saying? But they also know what they did wrong.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I see a lot of kids. A couple of years ago, you see a kid peak as a freshman and then as a sophomore, and sometimes that goes to their head. Have you ever experienced that? A player kind of just going too fast and it gets away from him, and before you know it, he's in his junior year, not allowed on the football field anymore, out of his groups of friends. So we need to send a message to these kids that the way they're living right now, I think is just off the way that today's society is promoting a lot of these things. And we need people like you, to kind of motivate the next generation, because you sound like you're a pretty intelligent guy.
But as far as that goes, when you have a player that is peaking, or I wouldn't say peaking, he's showing a lot of, potential as a freshman, and he gets, big head or what we'll call it's cocky. That's going to go into coaching, mentorship. If you're a great coach, you're not going to allow that player to display those, you know what I'm saying, those emotions and just take it and be like, I'm the best and I'm not going to get better. You're going to take that player and continue to work on his craft and let him know that you haven't reached it, you know what I mean, your full potential yet. But if you're not and this is not a shot at anybody, but if you're not a great coach, that's when those players start to fall, you know what I'm saying, to their wire. Now, come sophomore, junior year, they're not even on the field or whatever the case may be. They got into some off-field trouble because you as a coach didn't notice that and didn't take them in at the right time. You just got to notice talent and ability. I done had players from the inner city come play with me from New Haven. Yeah, I had players from like high schools in New Haven come play with me in Bridgeport because I noticed, you know what I'm saying, the talent that they had, and maybe they weren't in the right situation, and when presented, they came to flourish. You know what I'm saying? Like I had one player that came to me from New Haven, little brother of Coney from the he's a player on the Mustangs. His little brother came to me and did amazing things. You know what I'm saying? It's just different situations, different coaching styles that could bring a whole lot out of a player that one coach can't get out of.
Yeah, definitely. And end of your season, if mistake me if I'm wrong, June 19th is your first game.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Excellent, man. And you play a 10-game schedule, is it?
Yeah, it's 10 games and then playoffs. Yep.
Yep. June 19th, opened up against the Connecticut Panthers, a great team. You know, they got a lot of championships.
Excellent,
a lot
man.
of veteran players. You know, looking forward to playing them. Got a lot of good friends over there. It's gonna be a banger. It's gonna be a tough game. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be one in the trenches. It's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna put on for Connecticut, but of course, the New Memphis Fire is gonna come out on top.
Now, Mark, if people want to see this game or see any game, do they go to buy tickets? I know you said you just signed a new deal with New Milford High School, is it?
Yeah. So we signed a deal with New Milford High School. Their turf stadium is only, I think, 2 or 3 years old, so it's beautiful turf. And yeah, they can go right to our Facebook page, New Milford Fire Semi-Pro Football, and they can get season tickets. They can get information on when the games are, where they are, kickoff times. Yep. So that's our.
I'm showing the Southern Division right there. The teams you play: Connecticut Panthers, the Mustangs, New Milford Fire, Cobble Shamrocks, and the Rhode Island Cowboys.
Just know,
it looks like you guys are gonna have a good season. What do you guys need to go forward? You mentioned. Go ahead.
That division right there is where the championship will come back to. It's coming back to the South.
Okay.
Whether it's us, anybody else, it's coming back to the South.
Okay.
No, it's coming back to us.
Hey, there we go, man. So they have to stop.
I had to have. I was trying to have a piece of humble pie,
repeats,
bro.
right? Like
I was trying to have a piece of humble pie.
You can't be humble. Look. Okay, so look at what we did. So we brought back 99% of the championship team. We added probably one of the top receivers in the league. We brought back guys who are enormous. New guys. Look at Ricardo. Adding Ricardo to the mix. I mean, Jesus, the guy's a monster.
Listen,
the guy's a monster. He's a monster. We got a guy.
Don't forget my boy Dana. Don't forget my boy Teddy. Don't forget my boy Julian. Don't forget Ike. You know what I'm saying? Jose. You know, we got the tribe. You know, we got Dustin.
I know.
Listen, I don't even want to put everybody out on this thing right now. We gotta leave that. We gotta leave that alone. We gotta let Big JoJo choke everybody out.
Yeah, big JoJo. He's got these big bear paws that'll just crush somebody's head.
You ready?
All right, I'll throw the humble pie away. Back to Savage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm up against the break, but Hey, Kenny, I'd like to invite you back here soon, maybe after your first game, and we really talk smack, but you got to bring it. You know what I mean? Mark, thank you. New Milford Fire semi-pro football team. Get out there June 19th and support these guys, man. Support semi-pro football in general, man. Like, dig in your kids. You got 2 kids on the side of your head. Dig in there and go support semi-pro football. Kenny, Mark, thank you. We're going to talk a little Kwame Brown for a little while, just not everybody. But thank you, guys, and we'll see you soon. We're going to go to a break.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this drug, we believe, can be a game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
What's good, man? We back, man. Thank you for New Milford 5 Siemens joining us. And thank you, Kenny Bradley, man. Shout out to them 2 guys, man. Kenny looks like he's doing the right thing. Wants to be a coach after semi-pro football, man. I want to talk a little bit about Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown, right? Kwame Brown has a YouTube page, and it looks like in 20 years, a lot of people didn't even know Kwame Brown had a voice. So quiet. For years, Kwame Brown was the punching bag. Took so much ritual in the NBA. Stephen A. Snitch, whatever you want to call him, Stephen A. Bitch, he got his name. This dude got his name when networks looking for people to start criticizing sports players. He started on Kwame Brown when he was young. So a lot of people, are rocking with Kwame Brown. Judge Joe Brown went on there, talked a lot of bit about what these guys are doing, calls them the go along, get along gang. I mean, he came into the NBA at 17 years old. And I don't even know if Michael Jordan was really a great motivator for Kwame Brown. I mean, Michael Jordan, the best NBA player to ever really play the game. And a lot of people would argue LeBron James, LeBron James. But I don't care if LeBron James was a million friggin' points. Like Michael Jordan, I don't know if anybody could ever repeat what Michael Jordan did. So now, that 2001 draft, let's face it, that 2001 draft was a bust. It was a bust. So who else was Michael Jordan going to take besides Kwame Brown? I mean, for years, he's been a punchline. He's been the butt of the joke. But you know what he said? Not today or not that day. I'm done being the butt of the joke. I mean, many say they didn't even know, like I said, Kwame Brown had a voice. Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, they come out. They back him up. And then what does Stephen A. Bitch do? Stephen A. Bitch goes on his thing, and he shows a low light of what Kwame Brown is. He showed all the low spots. I mean, Stephen A. Snitch was a stool pigeon all the way back when he was in college. Go look it up. He did a story about his head coach. I think it was Coach Gaines. And he pretty much went on and said, if you don't retire, I'm going to write a story saying that you're too old and you should retire. The whole university wanted to go in on Stephen A. Snitch, Stephen A. Bitch, whatever you want to call him. Everybody wanted to go in on this dude. And what the coach say, that he got the coach fired from writing that stupid article. Oh, nah, back off. You got to go along, get along, gang. Kwame Brown calls him. And there's many people, like respect to Kobe, to MJ, but these dudes are tough to work with. There ain't no one else. So you get a kid about 18 or 20, you could bust his self-esteem bubble so hard. And then what happened? Charlemagne the God gets involved. If you don't know Charlemagne the God, he's on the show, The Breakfast Club, and, and he pretty much hides behind the industry and they protect him. So he went on and he made up that he was trying to protect Kwame Brown. And he tells the world, me and Kwame Brown, we all went on the same day that Kwame Brown's father was a killer, was a murderer, and his brother. Kwame Brown didn't even know this stuff. So this is what the media does. I say they don't care what I say. Because Stephen A. Smith, all these guys, Steven Jackson, Becky with the good hair, Matt Bonds, because that's his nickname, right? Becky with the good hair. They go in. Kwame Brown said, oh, really? Charlemagne, didn't you have a case about 15 years ago when you were 22 with a 15-year-old girl? Didn't you put drugs in your wife's own drink? Right? And you think that's okay. And Charlemagne the God, like, you normalize. Every time you go on that platform, you normalize that it's okay to put drugs in a girl's drink. I don't have to say your name because you know. You are scum. You protected by the industry. And what happened the very next day? Yeah. I actually had some nice sound for this clip we're doing today, man. But maybe we'll talk about that next week. The very next day, Charlemagne the God comes out with a BS apology. Say, oh, I was trying to defend somebody from my old town. Who? By telling everybody, oh, Kwame Brown's going to snap. Watch out. His family has a history of snapping. Stephen A. Smith has a history of ridiculing people, putting guys down. Career off Kwame Brown. Look, you got Steven Jackson, Matt Bonds, Gilbert Arenas. They pushed this guy to the point where they woke up a sleeping giant, right? How is Kwame Brown a bust? Tell me. Oh, he didn't score this many points. He didn't do this. How about how many minutes he played? How about he played 8? How about he was maybe a role player? The 2000 was fucking horrible. Horrible. 12 years, 65 million. Kwame Brown buys his mother a house on a golf course at 17 years old. How many 17-year-olds people are doing this? And then Steven Jackson comes out with all this. Steven Jackson, you a bust. And there's many other people. I mean, you use Kwame Brown as a verbal punching bag. You know what I mean? MJ, but every year, did he ever win the playoffs? No. He's like 0 and whatever. Got swept. I mean, the 06 draft, Michael Jordan takes. You take Adam Morrison. You know what I mean? You take Morrison third overall over Bradley Beal? What's wrong with you? You take Kimba over Clay? Zeller over Giannis? Yo, I'm sorry. Michael Jordan may be the best player ever, but he's definitely a bust when it comes to being an owner in the NBA. Going to take that 01 draft. You got to take Kwame Brown. They wanted size back then. The dude like 6'6", whatever. I seen a show the other day. I think it was the Martin player, Kevon Martin. He said, yo, he was on there with Jadakiss. They said, yo, any millionaire that does their own grass, be afraid of. Any millionaire that fixes their lawnmower, be afraid of. You know what I mean? Watch out for Kwame Brown, and he's on a roll putting video. He's like back to back. I mean, Kobe Bryant was no easier to work with. Go back to Kobe Bryant. And if you look at the span of an NBA player, what is it? I'll tell you, it's 5 years. And guess what? That's 1 year longer than a rookie contract. This is all facts. No capping. Kwame Brown played what? 5 friggin' games in 12 years? What? That's not NBA talent? Kwame Brown is not a bust. Talk about someone being a bust. I would go out and say Michael Jordan is a bust as an NBA owner. As an NBA operator. Stephen A. Smith is a bust. ESPN analyst. Got his job. How do you get your job? How do you get your job off ridicule, putting people down? You can't even say it's about basketball. And then Stephen A. Smith with his little bullshit show today, you know, and what does he do? Oh, he shows a low light of Kwame Brown, all his bad shots. Look, how about these players? How about Daco Millick, Anthony Bennett? How about Michael Kidd? All these players have been busts, and not one of them, Stephen A. Bitch, have you ever went after, have you ever criticized? Get the long hair, Mac Bonds? You invite Kwame Brown to your private pods. Like, what kind of man are you? You less than a man. Stephen A. Smith, I'll tell you what. That thing you did on ESPN, and this comes from like, yeah, right, who am I as a podcaster, right? Whatever. I'm more respect than you. You know what I mean? You look so dumb up there playing the low card, right? The low points of a man that was injured, Kwame Brown, right? SAT, you know what that stands for? Snitch. And I'm sure ESPN or whatever network you work with, I'm sure that they have an out game because they already see it's over. Like, you ever do like Kwame Brown, like I stay quiet forever, nowhere, 200,000 subscribers instantly, overnight, and people are rocking with him. Jalen Rose, he's telling the truth. What's his name? Jason Whitlock, backing Kwame Brown up. And it ain't only the media Kwame Brown's going after LeBron James. I mean, did Lou Williams get suspended having COVID-19 protocol issues? But LeBron James can go to a party, no mask, mouse, NBA title ring. I mean, we need to start having more people like Kwame Brown. And I mean, God, you know, to get back from it, Judge Joe Brown, it was a very interesting interview I watched with Judge Joe Brown. He's saying Charlemagne the God really got his name from Charles the Great, you know, who was a God who exterminated like hundreds of thousands of people, you know. So Charlemagne, the Big Black Radio, you know, DJ, got his name from a German psychopath. I mean, that don't even make sense. I mean, Judge Joe Brown, his words, he said that he was a Hitler prototype. No disrespect. I mean, and I know people get mad anytime I mention the Hitler word, but I think you need to back off of Kwame Brown. You know what I mean? He's doing a lot of good things. He skipped out of college. I think he was going to go to the University of Florida. Went right into the NBA. Is he a bust? don't think so. I think he was put in a real messed up situation at 17 years old. All the yelling, the ridicule people did over the years. You know what I mean? So when people are coming at him like Becky with the long hair, Stephen A. Bitch, Stephen A. Snitch, whatever you want to call him, I mean, and look, no, I'm going to hold you. So you better bring it. Like, don't be PC. I don't want none of that PC politically correct shit, because if you do that shit, I'm just going to end the session and bring someone on that's speak this, man. Got a nice coaches cornered episode where we're going to talk to some of the coaches in the area, have a roundtable discussion, let them discuss what they want to do, how to make Rhode Island football better. I ain't going to tell you what coaches will be there, because I know you haters. I know you hate just a week ago. Haters, man. You know what I mean? And while we're on the subject, man, you know, that dude from the Projo, whatever, like, that guy ruined, speaking around football for a minute, getting off the Kwame Brown stuff a little bit. That guy ruined Allstate, my opinion, respectively. Why do you think Rhode Island at the Scholastic League brought in Max Preps? Because the way he was running things with his media poll, and I know salute the people that were involved in the media poll. You're like, no disrespect to you guys, but Mr. Week always things we knew a week ago. You know what I mean? The Mount Pleasant coach getting the job at Brown. He was like 12 days late. You know what I mean? Reminds us that Goodhart kept his job at Coventry. Why did Goodhart job at Coventry? You know what I mean? Everybody knows why. We don't have to say it. So people need to be held accountable. But back to the roundtable discussion, we're going to have several coaches. We're going to have people from in and around football. Maybe we're going to get a youth coach on there. I know we definitely have an official coming. You know, and the officials too. We need officials, not only in Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York. You look over the country, it's for a thank job. I mean, and an official, no BS, you can make a couple $100 on part time. But it is a very thankless job. You really got to have thick skin. But go back to the Coventry Johnston Super Bowl, Cranston Stadium. Coventry's kicking like 35-0, right? It's like third or fourth down. I'm not even sure what it is. Johnson has the ball. They're sure Coventry stops him. And it's an obvious stop. It's like by a mile, at least a yard. So Coventry stops him. So bang, they're getting ready to turn over downs. Guess what the official did? First down, Johnston, huh? First down. I'm at home watching it. Yeah, I'm testing it. And I was like, this. You could see from the TV, it was short. And I end up hearing the official allegedly goes over to Coventry's coach and says, you're going to win anyway. We'll just give it to him. What are we teaching our kids on both sides of that ball? What are we teaching them? That you could be short in life and still get the award? Is that what we want to teach them? Or do we want to teach them, look, I'm sorry. I know you're getting beat 35-0. Coventry's probably going to win anyway. But it's not a first down, and we can't do that type of stuff. EWG a year ago, this like BS called the end of the game against Tiverton knocks EWG out the playoffs. You know what I mean? But EWG in 2 years, let me tell you, when Coach Fulton took EWG, they were the sixth worst team in the country. That's the sixth worst team in the country. And EWG hasn't seen that type of football from coach since the late Mark Messier. You know, so Mark Messier was coaching over at EWD. You know what I mean? So congratulations to Coach Fulton. I mean, he really took his kids far again this season, you know. But the realignment in this state, this was the worst realignment that I remember. And not only football, baseball people alone. The Interscholastic League, all due respect, and I'll say this respectfully, since Mr. Mez left, fucked everything. You fucked up everything. The only good thing you really did was the Max Prep situation, and that's all screwed up because not all teams honor Max Preps. Now, let me ask you, Max Preps. You sign a deal with a league. Are all teams required to like participate in that? Teams don't post stats. And then you have a guy coming, you know, while they're doing the All-State, and the coach says, look, my guy has 9,000 yards. Oh, where's your proof? He's seen it. The go along, get along gang. It's everywhere. It's not just in the NBA. It's not just in network media. It's in Rhode Island football. It's Connecticut football. It's in school committees. It's on your town council meetings. The go get along gang is a real thing. People are afraid to say anything. They're afraid to say anything. Look, there's nothing no one can do to me. All my equipment, I bought. I started my podcast 4 years ago because I didn't think kids would get a good voice. You couldn't find out a freshman game, a JV game. Coaches weren't being held accountable. Administrations weren't being held accountable, i.e., high school. And you guys are still with the BS. You're still with the BS. Don't let me get the green light. But I just want to hold you accountable, people. Like these futures we're dealing with. You got a kid on the sideline. You don't put him in. You don't play him. You know what I mean? Because you don't like his father, you don't like mother, you don't like the color of his hair, you don't like his socks. You know what I mean? And the other thing, I think these school committees, real talk. Okay, I think a lot of these school committees really have to address the substance abuse issue that's going on around schools. And I ain't just pointing at high schools, New Jersey high schools, New York high schools that are our own prescription medicine cabinets. You know, New Jersey high school, you watch a group of kids kick the shit out of their high school basketball coach, kick the shit out of them. Like, I hope, you know, he must have been Dr. Dre beats because they put the beats on this dude. You know what I mean? They put the beats on him, man. But, yo, we're having a good time over at Naked Sports. Yeah, I mean, if you game and you want to get that game live streamed, there's no other place to get it done. No, not FHHS. No. Nope. We ain't even talking about Western. Nope. We ain't talking about them either. You already know. OnlyFans sports page over on YouTube. Get your game live. Cross games during the football playoff. 2-3 teams at a time. Connecticut games, Rhode Island games. And not only the announcer, they know what they're talking about. They're doing it like this radio station up here that only concentrates on their hometown. You know, I'm going back with a local radio host. I don't care, whatever, Kenny Collins. You know, and all he really knows is going on in his own town. It's like, all right, you're playing Middletown. Yeah, we're playing Middletown, Mike. what's going to happen in that game? How's the defense going to be, Ken? Oh, I don't know. How the hell are you covering sports? So we need to hold people accountable, man. You want to be a guest, only out to me. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just here to keep it real, you know, stay authentic and just bring people, you know, an honest opinion about what's going on. Never throw kid under us. I'll never throw a kid under the bus. I may talk about certain situations, you know what I mean? But then check out fans only sports. You know, I plan to do this off my laptop. I actually had all types of notes, and but I had to switch connections today. First day on Naked Sports, you know, so working on getting the kicks out, but definitely check out the backyard Olympics. It'll be fun. I think 18+ event over there. Got tent. It opens up the registration, so get over there and register. Pick your teams. There's going to be cornhole, there'll be some food trucks, I believe. You know, there's gonna be a lot of things going on. We'll be over there doing a round table, and after the round table's over with the football community, you know, you want to come up and be a show. You know what I mean? Get on live. But I think me and a lot of other podcasters will be checking it out all day. Go check out some of the other podcasts also on Naked Sports, you know. Felix, the political goat. Man, Felix be putting it down. And Felix is really, you know, he was Democrat in Rhode Island. And he was like, you know what? The Republicans snatched his ass out of that Democrat suit and said, come over here, boy. But Felix, real good dude. Got 2 kids over there on Bishop Hendricken. So check his page out. One of his kids is going to be going to UMass Dartmouth. That's right here. You heard it here first. So congratulations to Shine. Watch his other son, Sincere, over there playing baseball. The kid can ball out. But Sincere, I'm talking to Sincere, Felix's son right now. Listen, when you do get that contract, you have to buy your father a garage. I see the garage door and balls against it. Insane. But definitely go check that out. Go check out a longtime friend, Jarrett.
It's gone. Did you hear that? I go hard in the streets. I'm the heart of the streets. Federal. Switchy Frank. Let's go. Come take a ride through my city life. See what my city's like. It's the city life. For some, it's a shitty life. This is city living. Mostly them city children. From my bedroom, see the lights of them city buildings. Ain't gotta act hard. Private's my backyard. I run road out. You can call me a track star. And we a team, homie. All is one. I don't sleep until all is done. I ain't rucking, so please don't call me Mr. 401. It's Mr. Rags. You can call me. I'm still in that 401. From where we was, look at all we become. For what it's worth, I put my all in the sun. Know that my city love it. Think I give a fuck about my city's budget, about my city's public, know how my city does it. Let me handle my city business, then I ride you outside of them city limits.